How exciting is this? The International Business Awards are about to open, which is very, very cool. We're excited. We're definitely excited. In fact, they should have opened today, but they're just working on the entry kit still for 2020 at the moment. So the news is we're going to give you what we can today, and we'll record the webinar as well. And as soon as the 2020 entry kit is out, we will let you all know, so you can go and download that and get your own copy to go through it. But we'll also be looking today at a couple of other bits and pieces to do with the international awards and whether you are award worthy and ready, the categories that they've got available, what the judges are looking for. And Annette and I have reviewed a bit of the judges' feedback from last year. We've got some tips today for you. And what you need to do right now. The International Business Awards aren't open yet. They're opening around the end of this week, I think. And of course, the Women in Business Stevie Awards are coming up in May as well, to look forward to those. But there are lots of awards open, so anything you can do. And one of the big tips we give to people straight away is why not repurpose? Don't just enter one awards. If you've done one and you've put a lot of time and effort, and I mean, Annette said on a post just recently, you could be taking 15, 20 hours of work to put an entry together. Why do just one? Why not repurpose it and look around at what other awards are out there? And if you are not yet a member of the Rocket Launch Your Business Facebook group, please make sure you jump in there. I will put a link in the chat box for you, because we are always posting in there with when awards are opening up for certain industries, and it might be worth you having a look and repurposing your entries and getting into a couple of them that are out there. So we're going to talk to you today about how to prepare for those and what you need to start getting together ready for your entry, and then what to do when you win. Woohoo! When you win your award, how are you going to leverage it, and what is it going to do? Because it's not just going to sit there on the shelf gathering dust. I know I was answering a comment on Facebook about that the other day, about how, is it worth entering awards? Don't they just sit there gathering dust? Well, they do if you let them, but if you take them out and show them around and do all sorts of cool things with them, they can leverage your brand credibility and all sorts of things, which is really cool.
Or you could just dust them.
Or you could just dust them.
Like, you
could use your earrings to dust them. Look at those beautiful feathers you have on today.
And I'm just eyeing the seagulls and going, I wonder if I could have some seagull earrings.
Don't know. You'd need to colour them, wouldn't you? Seagulls are a bit boring, aren't they?
Oh, I don't know. They got the beautiful grey and the black and the white, but maybe not. I don't think I could catch one.
If you had some chops, you'd be all right. You catch seagulls with chops.
Well, I am right near the fish and chip shop.
There you go. So awesome, guys. Thank you for joining us. What we're going to start off with today is just outlining what it means to be award ready and whether you are award worthy, because funny enough, Annette and I both find this is one of the major barriers that people have to come across when they're looking at awards is, am I ready? Do I have enough? Have I done enough? Am I really award worthy? Is there something I could achieve? So perhaps in the chat box, let us know if that's you. What are your thoughts about awards at the moment? Where are you at? Have you already entered awards and won awards before? Are you looking for more insight on how to do it again or do it better? Or are awards something that's really icky and scary and something that you'd rather not do, but you should, but you're really not sure if you've got enough in you to be an award winner? So please let us know in the chat box, where are you at? Are you a complete newbie and novice? You've never entered awards and you're a bit afraid of what is required? Or have you done awards and you'd like to know more about them? Please let us know in the chat box, because we want to make sure that the contents of this webinar are really useful for you. Annette and I could blather on for hours about awards, but we want to make sure that they're really relevant for the people on the webinar. So please let us know. And if you are watching the replay, you can get in touch with us. There's a button below the replay. Click on that and you can get in touch with us and book a call with Annette and I to talk about awards with your business as well. And if you're on the live, we will be giving you that link later on as well. So if you want to spend a little bit of time with Annette and I just talking a little bit more about you and your particular requirement for awards, then you can do that. So Annette, when you're talking to people about entering awards, what are some of the big barriers that they come up with this whole I'm not worth it, I'm not worthy, I'm not ready, I haven't done enough? What are the big barriers you seem to come across?
The biggest one that I find is that I've not done enough. And this is even people who've been in business, you know, 4, 5, 6 years. And, you know, you watch them on Facebook and on other social media platforms, and you see what they're posting and you see what they're doing, and you're a little incredulous and go, like, what do you actually think that you need to do to enter an award? You know, it's not like you have to, you know, dive into the broadwater and go save someone's life. So that for me is like, okay, let's take a step back and talk through what you've done in the past 12 months. And once you start that process and you write it down, it's really important to write it down, because our brain has the amazing ability to totally ignore the logic that we think. Write that down and you'll be surprised at what your accomplishments are and have been. The other one is, you know, that what you just said, that I'm not worthy. And look, I can relate to that, because I first entered the Business Awards in 2015. My business was 2 years old, and, you know, I was suffering from imposter syndrome. I really thought that people would find out that I was totally crap at what I do. But having worked in PR and comms and media for a long time, I kind of kept thinking back to the CEOs and the people that I'd worked with, or the people I'd written stories about winning awards, and went, well, they're really not that different to me. And what's the worst thing that can happen is that I don't win. Well, that's okay. You know, I'm a human being. I'm used to people saying no to me. I'm just going to give it a crack. So I did, and I won. And it was like, oh, okay, hang on, I better not tell anyone, because they might come and take it off me. but over the years, I just kept entering more and more, and I got to the point where I went, actually, I think I'm pretty all right. And I know between you and I and the people that we've worked with is that we've helped them overcome those feelings of unworthiness, and quite often it's got absolutely nothing to do with the business that they're in. So I think if you're feeling that you're unworthy, it's a good place to maybe meditate or ponder or journal on, because in my experience, and I know in your experience, when we've talked to lots of people in business, is that most people are doing amazing kick-ass things, solving problems and making a difference in their space, that they deserve to be patted on the back.
Absolutely. I'm just typing in some tips, guys, into the chat box, and we will get an opportunity at the end of the webinar to download the chat box so you don't miss anything that we're putting in there. So some top tips so far: write down your achievements. If you're not sure whether you're ready, whether you've got enough, whether you think you're award worthy, write down your achievements. Go back to where you started. And that doesn't include, I mean, achievements, people seem to think, Annette, that achievements are big wins, you know, like landing a big client or making lots of money and so on. Achievements also include things that you overcame. And we know for a fact that the judges love to see a story where you've come up against something, a barrier or a problem or an issue, and you've managed to overcome it. You've thought your way through it. You've fixed your technology. You've pivoted your business. You've partnered with people, whatever it is that you've done to see past the issues that you've got, challenge yourself and move on. So achievements include when you've fallen over, grazed your knee a few times and got back up again, got back on that horse and carried on. So write down those things as well. The things that, even I know from a lot of the awards, when they want to hear your story, and a lot of people say to Annette and I, we know when the entries that you've helped with, because you tell a great story, and that's Annette's superpower, of course, is telling stories. And that just, the human brain loves a story. So if you can start writing down your achievements, including all of those personal things that you've achieved as well, it really can become part of your brand story, and definitely could be part of your award entry as well. And then consider journaling, meditation, maybe even speaking to a mindset coach. If you've got real self-doubt issues, and I know Annette and I have both seen the confidence level just absolutely explode for the people who have entered awards, and even if they don't win, the fact that they wrote their story down, they wrote their achievements down, they put it into a submission and entered it, and even just became a finalist. that's enough for them to say, wow, you know, I actually am pretty good at this. I've done enough to at least put an entry together. And if you look at it from that point of view, I don't think anyone in business doesn't have a story to tell. Would you agree, Annette, that everyone has a story?
Oh, absolutely. And it's not even, I know when we talk about storytelling, a lot of people think that that's got to be a story of adversity or pain or suffering, or, you know, that they do get a lot of attention. But a story can be as simple as how you got started, you know, the things that you've done to get to where you are. It doesn't have to be. I always think back to a time where I told, you've got to know what your why is, what's your purpose. And at the time it was like, it felt like it had to be bigger than Ben-Hur, that my purpose couldn't just be something as simple as, you know, I want to write my book, or I want to be the best mum, or, you know, whatever it was, is that your story doesn't have to be the stuff of movies and of legend, because that's not what the judges are looking for. Like Lauren said, they're looking for, how have you gone from where you are to where you are now? That didn't make sense. How do you go from where you've been to where you are now? And that could be, I started a networking group, or I wrote a book, or I increased my clients by 50%, or I was really sick and I pulled myself up by my bootstraps and I managed to get back into business. Like, just is all of those things that make up a great story.
Brilliant. So if you're watching the webinar live, and if you are watching the replay as well, just take a moment to write down, what do you think is an achievement that you've managed to do in the last 12 months that you could include in an awards submission? It's one thing that you can think of straight away. And if you'd like to share it in the chat box with us, we'd love to hear from you if you're watching the webinar live. Or you can email us if you want to as well. The email address will be available to you. Just let us know, what's the number one thing that you could put into an awards entry, which is an achievement that you have managed to do in the last 12 months. Because a lot of awards are looking at exactly what we're doing with the IBAs. They are from year to year. So it's for achievements for a set period of time. Some of them, it can be lifetime achievement awards. Some of them don't have a deadline on them in terms of when they're judging you from, the period. But what could you immediately put into an awards application or an entry that you're proud of, something you've succeeded at, a challenge you've overcome, some sort of achievement? If you could let us know what that is, we'd love to know. Please put it in the chat box. And immediately that should start be making your brain feel good about what you're doing, and then go from there and just see how much you can write down. So get cracking on that. It's a good start for preparation for awards. It's just going back through what you've achieved in the last year. And I'm going to type this in as a tip. Check your diary. So one of the first things I do if I'm asked to look at a new entry is ask someone to go back through your diary. When were your speaking events? When were the big events in your life? When did you put new clients on? When were you running workshops? When did you launch a new product? When did that happen that you got your book launched, or you got some coverage in the media, or you got on a podcast as a guest? So write down throughout the last year, just go back through your diary and make a note of all the major achievements in the last 12 months. So really, really interesting way to map out your achievements, because we do tend to forget. As Annette said, our brains are really clever at getting us really busy. We tend to forget what we've achieved. We're too busy working on the now and putting the fires out and what's going to happen at lunchtime and what's happening tomorrow and the next thing we're on to. We're all pretty good at goal setting, but not very good at sort of looking back and patting ourselves on the back for what we've done. So check your diary and make note of the achievements. So that's in there as another tip for you. Maggie's put in here, writing an international best-selling book on Amazon called A Working Mother's Guide to Blockchain and Cryptocurrency. Well done, Maggie. Congratulations. An international best-selling book on Amazon. It's a very good achievement. Massive. So well done on that. Definitely something you would include in an award. And as a writer of a book, you should also, and I would suggest, putting an image of the cover in the supporting documentation, putting some testimonials from the people who've read your book. If you have a screen grab of when you became a bestseller, or a screen grab of the downloads, or anything else you can include in that in your entry, anything around your book, or the fact that you're now turning that book into training courses or webinars or workshops, whatever else, or you've got plans to do that in the future. So it's not just about the book. Hey, I'm a best-selling author. That's awesome. That's fantastic. But what's the story around it? Why did you write the book? Was it that there was nothing else out there for working mums? How is this going to change their lives? You know, what's your take on it? What's your fresh angle with this book? And how's it solving a problem? So, you know, there's lots of different ways you can use that great achievement, saying, yes, awesome, woohoo, I'm a best-selling international author. But what's the story around why you wrote the book? As Annette said before, what was the purpose of the book? What have you achieved? How does that reflect on your personal brand and so on? So awesome stuff, guys. Well done. Keep them coming. Let us know what some of your achievements have been this year. Now, next, I've got the categories to choose from. So I've actually got the 2019 International Business Awards entry kit open in front of me. And if you want to get that kit, there will be a link in the chat. I'll put that in a minute. You can go in and ask for that kit. In fact, I will just pop that in there now. Dum-de-doo, I'm doing a copy. There we go. Here's the link to the IBA's website. So you can go and download an entry kit. And when the 2021 comes out, they'll automatically send it to you. I don't think there'll be too many changes to this. Do you, Annette?
No, I'd be interested to see. Last year they had, I think it was 36 or 42 categories that had no entry fee on it. So it'd be interesting to see if they do that again today. But no, I think the IBA categories are quite broad, giving people lots of choices. Anything from, you know, entering in the industry or niche that you operate in, all the way through to, you know, best business book and best websites and best events and marketing. And so there's just so many categories that, you know, you're almost spoilt for choice.
Yeah, you are, absolutely. So when you've got lots of categories, and let me just go into the price a little bit, because a lot of people asked that question on a Facebook post recently, you know, what's the go with awards where you pay to enter? Isn't that like just paid publicity? Well, it's not the case. There's a bit of a different, there's loads of different structures for awards that are out there. Some of them are what I would call popularity contests, sort of vote for me. Now that's okay. You can be the most popular, whatever it is. That's an awesome award to win. It shows that you are growing a tribe, that you're being accessible. There's some really cool things you can do with the popularity style awards as well. But regardless of which award you are entering, there's effort involved. Even a popularity contest, you've still got to go out there to your audience and ask them to vote for you. Even if it's just clicking a button on their behalf, you still have to have a following. You have to have a big enough audience to win those sorts of awards. So you've put effort and you've invested time into building your following. With the likes of the Stevie's Awards, there are entry fees. Now, there are costs to run awards programs. The Stevies do a really good job of this. They make it really easy for the judges to log in and effectively judge hundreds of awards. And if that's something you're interested in as well, you can certainly ask us as well. It's a great thing for your credibility to say that you're an international award-winning judge, or you're an awards judge. Is a really cool thing to add to your LinkedIn profile. And there's a certain amount of responsibility with that role as well. So there's certainly a monetary component to many awards. Some of them are free. Remembering the benefit of paying to be in a category is you are investing in winning that particular category. So chances are you're going to do a good job of it. Anytime that you are, what do you call it, you've got some skin in the game, there's money on the table, chances are you're going to make a good job of it. Sometimes we see with free awards that people just enter and they don't spend as much effort and time on it. They might just upload a press release as their entry, which really is a bad thing to do. Just letting you know, there's another big tip. Don't just upload a press release as your entry. We really want you to put some time into this as judges and see that you're actually invested in the category that you've entered into. Also, where there's free categories, and you're right, Annette, last year there were lots of free. Startup categories were free and so on. Communications PR Executive of the Year was free. There are a couple of other awesome ones in there that were free as well. You're going to get a lot of competition in those spaces. So just be aware of the fact that, yes, you might be benefiting by not having to pay to enter, but you're going to have a really good entry to get above the others who've just put themselves in there as well. So you're going to have more competition in the free ones and in the broader ones. One of the things I would suggest when you're looking at the categories, and yes, there are lots of categories for the IBAs, really think about two things. One, which category makes the most sense to your brand? So if you want to be seen as a great entrepreneur or a great customer service department, or someone who's got a really creative skill and the most creative industry of the year, or if you're in human resources and you want to be seen as the team of the year, because that's a niche that you want to fill, then look for those categories. So really think about which category best aligns with where you want to position your brand, where you want to position your reputation in the marketplace. If it's a customer services award, it's all about being a best at this, an award winner at providing great customer service, if that's what you want for your brand and your business. However, if it's about your audience, and that's the second question you need to ask yourself, is which award or which category is going to make the most sense to my audience? Absolutely pointless for me to enter Executive of the Year awards when I'm an entrepreneur. No one would ever consider me an executive. I don't work for a big corporate company. I've got my own businesses. I work together with Annette. We're entrepreneurs. It wouldn't make sense to my audience to come out and say, "Hey, I'm Executive of the Year." So really think about what your audience is after. And if you're not sure, please let us know, because there's a number of things you can do with us. You can book some time to go through your target avatar with me. You can book some time with Annette to go through your brand story and bio with you, just to really get clear on where you want to position yourself and your reputation in the marketplace, and how you want to be seen and what that marketing message is that you want to get out there. So some of the categories this year, there's management categories. So if you, again, want to be seen as Chairman of the Year or Woman of the Year, there's one in there for Maverick of the Year. And I would suggest Maverick of the Year, you really need to be thinking about, what have you done that's different? What have you done that's pushing the envelope? You know, if you think about what a maverick is someone who looks at what's going on in their industry and goes, hang on a minute, that doesn't need to be that way. You know, just because we've always done it that way, let's do something different. So how have you been a maverick? You might like to be called a maverick, but if you haven't actually physically got any evidence that you've been thinking outside the square, you've been pushing the envelope a little bit, it's going to be a little bit hard for you to compete in that space. There's Innovator of the Year again. So what have you done that's innovative? Have you looked at domestic violence, or as Maggie has with blockchain and working mums, is there something innovative that you've done with that? You know, have you done something that's a little bit outside the box that you could do into those things? There's Lifetime Achievement Awards as well. And interestingly, Lifetime Achievement Awards, Annette, we often see very few entries with those sorts of people, which is a bit sad. And I know Christine Norris, who's on the webinar today, you've been in your industry forever, haven't you? How many years have you been in there?
Forever.
Forever.
Actually, 736.
She did. She sold Noah his first ark. So, yeah. So, you know.
She might clobber us. We've just made her sound really old.
Christine will get back at us. That's fine. I know Christine very well. She'll get us playtime. So think about those things as well. There's also, Christine, did you want to add something to defend yourself there?
I think after 39 years, I don't have to defend myself. How about that, Lauren?
That's awesome. I love it. She knows where we live as well, which is very cool. But yeah, Lifetime Achievement Awards, which is really cool. Maybe you've just got started. Maybe there's something new that and Startup of the Year as well could be pivoting. It could be just deciding, hey, I'm going to refresh. I've actually discovered that my industry's changed. I've just refreshed. I've changed everything that I'm doing. And I've only just started this new business based on my experience. So, and it could be something that's absolutely brand new. Also to think about, guys, is not just you, but the people working around you. So is there a team of the year that you can put in? Fastest growing organizations are in there. Tech companies are in there. Entrepreneur of the Year is a great category to look at as well. That was one of them that I entered and won a gold for. It was surprised the pants off me. There's lots of communications, public relations and marketing categories in the international awards. So if you're in advertising, creative, publicity, communications, any of those sorts of industries. There's loads of different categories there for you. Customer service, again, human resources, information technology, products and product management, and support categories. So the interesting thing is, with all of these categories, there are subcategories within them. So for example, if you wanted to enter company or organization of the year, it could be non-profit, could be profit, could be public, could be large, small, doesn't matter. But within that, you've got small, medium, and large. And then within that again, you've got all the different types of categories. So you've got aerospace, apparel, beauty, business, computer software, consumer products, electronics, food and beverage, energy, legal, insurance, real estate, retail. So they can get really, really niche with this. So that's why it's really important that you think about what the award means to your business, what it means to your ideal client, and how you're going to leverage it. Because it doesn't make sense to enter into an award that you then win and then go, well, I can't really tell anybody about this because it doesn't fit with what I'm trying to do. So really think about how you're going to leverage your award. When you're looking at the categories, think about how you can use that long term to benefit your own business and your credibility factor. Now, great question here, Maggie. Is it best to stick with one category or should you enter into a couple? Now, given that you're going to spend time and effort putting your entry together, we always suggest having a really good look through all the categories because you can repurpose your entries. So for example, if you wanted to enter company of the year in business or professional services, and then later on there's also one for customer services in that same category, then certainly you could enter both. And then you become an organizational company of the year and you're also awarded for your customer services level. So you can then leverage both of those things. There's no reason why you could just look at one. There may only be one that you really, really want to go for, and that's absolutely fine. But if you're putting the effort into writing an award entry, why not repurpose it for a couple of different categories? And remember, guys, there's an early bird factor with most awards, and it certainly is the case with the Stevie Awards. There'll be a month or so where it's early bird, and then it starts going up in price for entry. So if you can get yourself organised, what I would suggest you do is go to that website and download an entry kit from 2019. Go through and highlight the categories that you think might be pertinent to you and review that. Start putting together everything that you need to enter that award. As Annette said, go back through your achievements and so on, and think about it now before the awards even open so that you're ready to go and you make the most of those early bird prices. Annette, do you want to add anything here at all about choosing a category?
No, I think you covered it.
And it can't get a word in edgewise. It's funny, actually, I was looking at them the other day and just thinking about who I knew for these different categories. I think I actually might have even tagged you in a comment, Christine, for real estate. But there's even, I think in here, there were live events of the year they had last year. So even if you run an event. Sorry, Annette, were you going to say something?
Oh, no, I said, yeah, they did. They had live events.
Yeah, so if they do that again this year, so like maybe you've started a networking group, or maybe you've run a fundraiser, and you're looking at getting a little bit more credibility for that. You want to do it again next year and make it bigger and better. So can you imagine now that it's a international award-winning event that you're running? So, you know, there's lots of those opportunities.
And a lot of those niche events, niche categories, don't get huge entries. So,
no, that's right.
You know, mind you, though, they do have an entry fee attached to it, but it could be worth entering because you've got a better chance of getting a look in.
So some of the sorry, you go.
And I was just going to touch on something that we get asked a lot, and I don't think it's on our agenda, but I think it's really important to talk about is, you know, like I've had a few people message me the last couple of weeks going, you know, I want to enter, how much is it? Can you guarantee I'll win? No would be the answer. No is the answer to pretty much any question that has to do with marketing, PR and awards. There are no guarantees. All you can do is put your best foot forward. And that's why it's really worth spending the time getting your category right and writing a really good entry, because once you've submitted it, it's then in the lap of the gods, being the judges, and they're human beings. That's why listening to Lauren and I is a really good idea, because we're giving you the insights that we've gathered from, we've been doing this together for 3 years. I've been doing this for, half my career. So we've got these insights, but going in with the right expectation is really important, because when you don't win, and the thing is that not everybody's going to win all of the time. Even Lauren and I don't win all of the time. That's where the leverage comes in. But if you go in with that expectation, is I've done my best to kick-ass entry, and I'll use it any way that I can. So I just needed to say that, because I've had a few people say that to me, Lauren, and I'm like, sometimes I'm at a loss for words, and it's like, my mother used to say, who do you think I am, Mandrake? Which was a magician back in her day. No, we're not. We're human beings, and we are giving you the best advice that we can, but the results are not up to us, they're up to the judges.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing as well, when you enter an award and you've taken the time to go back and look at your achievements and put them together and write them down, and you're now looking at, okay, so this is my achievements and this is my goals, and this is, the judges want to know as well, what are you planning on doing? So how did you learn from those things, and what are you going to do? Guess what, guys? That's the basis of a really good business plan. That's a basis of a really good marketing plan. Gives you some structure and some settings around your goals and your dreams and the things you've done well and the things you'd like to improve on and so on. So you've now got a great document to use for planning your marketing, planning your business going forwards, looking at getting investors, submitting it to get partners on board, using it in your portfolio, using it for when you're pitching for business. So you've already done this work, which is great. And the other thing is, the Oscars is coming up next Monday, which is exciting. I always watch the Oscars. I'm going to have to watch it from Bangkok this year, so I don't know if I'll be there at the right time. But anyway, the thing I love about the Oscars is that people are nominated to win. These movies get nominated, and some of the great movies that we all love didn't get nominated, but they still were great movies and people still went and saw them. So there's not really a downside to not winning an award. The only downside is if you don't enter, right? So everybody goes to an award nominated movie, whether it won or not. It's been nominated for 5 Oscars or Grammys or whatever it is, and they still listen to it and go and watch it and so on. If you go to the bottle shop and you get yourself a bottle of wine and it's got a sticker on it that says this was a finalist in an award. They didn't win the award, but they were a finalist. Guess what? You still think it's a pretty good wine, don't you? So, there's really no downside to not winning. At least you've now got a chance to go, okay, what did I do that I could do better? Go again. And I think Annette and I both have been through this, where we go, look, didn't quite get what I wanted. We'll go again.
Yeah,
and I know
absolutely.
You've entered one of the categories. I know, Annette, was it 3 times before it won gold?
Yeah, 3 times before I won gold. I'd won bronze every single time, and I thought that I'd read the judges' feedback properly, but obviously I didn't. And then last year I went, you know what, this is the last year I can enter Publicity Genie, because I'm going into business with Lauren and Publicity Genie, and I want to win a bloody gold medal for the work that I've done over the past 7 years. And I did, because I didn't take the not winning as a sign of failure. I took the not winning as, what can I do better? How can I improve on my entry? And, you're talking about whether you're finalist or you're nominated, PR, publicity, marketing, branding, all comes down to perception. It's not like what Lauren does is brilliant. She understands, the marketplace's mind. But when someone is looking and choosing between you and somebody who hasn't, then their brain's going, we just automatically do it. We go for the one that looks like the winner.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that trust currency, isn't it? It's evidence that you've got something that's credible. And that could be a best-selling book, which you've done, which is awesome. Maggie's done that. But yeah, adding that little extra bit is fantastic. So for example, just looking at the categories for live events, some of the categories within that: art events, celebration events, which could be milestones or anything to do with your organization, cultural event, a festival, a live event in front of a live audience, could include live TV and broadcasts. So maybe you've done a webinar or something like that. You've got a live audience, which is very cool. And then you've gone and turned that into a live event. Fashion shows, competitions, music events, pop-up events. Have you done a pop-up event for your business to draw a new crowd? A public event, a road show. And then there's a sporting event. And I was reading this the other day, and I'm a keen sailor, as most people know. And I was in a big sporting event for our sailing club this year called Sail Paradise. And I took it to the chairman the other day and said, you know, what if you entered Sail Paradise and became an international award-winning event? Wouldn't that help you get sponsors, and wouldn't that help you get more people entering it? So really awesome. Now Annette has to run away. She's going to go and speak at a brekkie event, but it's been changed to lunch. Well, that's exciting, having breakfast at lunchtime. That's very fun. So Annette, was there anything else you wanted to add before you run away?
Well, you know, everyone who knows me, and even those who don't, of how Aussie I am, and it's, mate, you got to be in it to win it. Is that if you've been thinking about this for a while, don't put it off for another year, because, like, I don't even know half of you, or if I do, I don't know the details of your business, but you have done enough to enter an award, to give it a real go. Listen to Lauren, she's got lots to say. Well, we all know that.
That's an
got a lot of
really
good things to say. So, yeah, sorry I've got to leave you.
She's in demand speaker. So that's awesome.
I am in demand this month. It's like, oh, I feel really popular.
And why wouldn't you be? Well, go and have fun. Enjoy B2B today. Say hello to everyone for us. I'm going to go through a couple more categories. Are there any other categories that I haven't spoken about that you would like to know about? What business are you in? Maybe put in the chat box what business you're in, and I might be able to help you with some of the categories that are there. There's video categories, which is really awesome. If you've done video, if you've done business to business branded videos, and you do them and you're putting them on your YouTube channel, or you're using them for training or anything like that, there's events and webcasts, internal employee communications, magazine style, motivational videos, anything to do with PR or sales, training videos, as I say, travel and tourism. Did you do a viral video? So, you know, if you've been pushing yourself out there with your brand and you're recording video, there's some really, really awesome categories for that. There's also website categories. So you can enter your website to win an award. Now, if you do business online and you've got a lot of people coming to your website, and you really want to push the fact that you can, you know, go to a website that's won awards for what it does, and you're really encouraging them to spend time on your website, then there's those categories in there: accounting, advertising, banking, business or professional services. What else is on there? Financial services, health products and services, hospitality, food and beverage, retail, real estate, transportation, utilities, marketing, media. They're all on there. There's also best blog category. Do you blog at the moment? A lot of people are, if you're blogging to get your brand out there and share content, you can put your blog up for an award. So how would that be? If you want to get more people reading your blog, or you want to get more people interested in writing for you on your blog, then promoting the fact that it's an international award-winning blog. How cool is that? Email newsletter. Do you have a database that you send people out an email? I'm going to be putting the weekly rocket up for that one this year, because now all of a sudden it's not just a lead generating email, it's something that's won an award for what it does, helping people get speaking gigs. So what can you be doing with that sort of thing? Have you got a homepage, a welcome page, a training site? Best use of Instagram or a Facebook group? Do you have a Facebook group that you look after? Of course, we've got the Rocket Launch Your Business Facebook group. We'll be putting that forward for an award. So really think about, there's so many different categories in here that you can leverage your activity. Because let's face it, guys, we're all working very, very hard. We're all putting the hours in. We're running our own businesses. We're very entrepreneurial. Let's get some payback for that. You know, let's stand on a world stage and say, hey, do you know what? I'm actually doing something really awesome here, and I'd like to share that with the world. Now I've got some more questions. Maggie, wasn't even on my radar. Don't you love synchronicity? Yeah, absolutely, Maggie. That's so cool. Helen, I've got a small business digital magazine. Awesome. It's also support business. So there is definitely a magazine. Let me have a look here. There is advertising, marketing, and public relations website categories, but there are documents. I'm sure I saw magazine in here. I'm just having a look here. Best annual report, marketing or sales brochure, company history, other publications are in the ebook, business book, white paper. There's loads of magazine format video. I'm sure there was magazine in here. That's something I saw as well in terms of, you know, what you're doing. So definitely have a look through the entry kit and see what's there. Category for coaching and speaking. There are definitely categories for coaching in the International Women in Business Awards. So that might be worth looking at when they come out in May. Speaking, probably with these, I'd look at your live event. So if you're a speaker, you want to win for a live event that maybe you spoke at or that you organised and you were a speaker at. There aren't any specifically for speaker. It's a good one for me to put forwards for the next ones that are coming through. But there's fundraising events and causes and sustainable events and so on. There's also a category for conferences and meetings. So if you've been a coach or a speaker and you've set up your own conference or convention or trade show or association meeting or whatever it is, or educational event, there's a category there, RO4E, category for educational event. Any internal or external training sessions, workshops, seminars, masterclasses, educational courses can be nominated. So definitely if you're holding workshops and those sorts of things as well. Christine's asking me a question. Adios, this has really hit home. Oh, awesome. Brilliant. That's really cool feedback. Thank you, Christine. Yeah, get into it. Given that there are real estate categories in here and training categories in here, I think you could do really, really well out of that, which is very, very cool. So, so that's just the categories. Like I say, I've put the link in the chat and it'll be on the replay site as well. If you want to download your entry kit and go through those, the 2020 entry kit isn't out yet. So we're a bit ahead of the game here. Annette and I've jumped on board. Normally the awards open today. They're opening later on this week and the entry kit will come out shortly. And if you go on to that website and request an entry kit, they'll automatically send you the updated one, which is really cool. What else have we got? Right, what judges look for and how to increase your chances of winning. So we've already given you a few tips and hints on what to include in your entries and how to make them really stand out. Telling a story, using all the words that you're given. I think it's 600 words that you're allowed to use in your essay. Dot pointing things to make it really easy. As an international award-winning judge for a number of years now, I can tell you I spend somewhere between maybe 5 to 7 minutes per entry. So it's not a long time that I'm looking at your entry. So make it easy for me. Make it easy for the judge to know that you've entered the right category. Give a nice little overview of why you've entered the category. Tell them what you've achieved in the last 12 months. Definitely write it as a story. Talk about the things you've overcome, the challenges you've seen and what you've done about it, when you've pivoted, and a little bit of what you're going to do in the future as well. This means that we're now setting up to do this, that, and the other. The judges want to help you succeed. So definitely include that in your essay. Use up all the words you can. Write it in a Word document or whatever you use, and then copy and paste it into the online form. On any award, do that. The last thing you need is an internet outage or whatever, and you've lost your entry. So write it in Word or something like that and save it, and then copy and paste it into any online submission forms that you need to do. And definitely, if there's an opportunity for you to allow you to put in a support document or video or anything like that, do it. Anything you can do to improve your award. As a judge, it's nice to read your story and see what you're entering for, but I like to see some evidence and some proof. I like to see that you've actually got some testimonials, or you've got some evidence that you're growing your tribe, or that your event was a success through, you know, testimonials or feedback or ticket sales or whatever it is. So definitely I want to see that. And what we have found, the judges, ideally we have a great class of judges, and we do recommend people to be judges who we think would be awesome at it. But you need to help them when they're looking at hundreds of entries. I would suggest when you write your essay and you are going to put some support documentation on there, definitely put in your essay, see support document. for more, or whatever, or please see video for more, so that you're telling them that you're attaching something else. Now, the reason for that is that you just don't know when someone doesn't read that. We had a couple of judges' feedbacks, so that's real good grammar, for the last entries. And they said it would have been nice to see some testimonials. And we're going, well, they're in the support document. So they obviously didn't open up the support document. So tell them in the essay, if you've got a support document, which we highly recommend you do, tell them, please see testimonials in my support document, or see graphs in my support document, so that it tells them to go and look for it. And then with your support document, again, make it easy. Make it one PDF. Don't make it 10 different links that I have to click on. You know, make it really easy for me to click on one PDF. It opens up. It's got a really easy way of reading it. It's not tiny typeface. It's not difficult to read. And you're outlining, again, like you would with a normal proposal. This is who I am. This is the problem that I solve. This is the evidence that I've managed to do that. This is what I'd like to achieve in the future, etc., etc. And then afterwards, you know, here's the testimonials, the certificates, the evidence and proof. And recording video, I know with the Stevies, they give you the option of recording video. I would certainly still write an essay and record a video and put it in as a link to your supporting document. Stick it up on YouTube. You know, those sorts of things on YouTube are great for people to view anyway, the entry for an award. So stick them up on YouTube and use them as much as you can. So any other questions on what you need to include in your entry? It does take time, and that's why Annette and I have services to help people. So you can do this yourself, but if you wanted our help, then we have an online course that can help you. And we also have a service where we actually meet with you on a Zoom call. We get everything down into one place. You provide us with any documentation that we need, but basically we write it for you, and you go from there. If you want to know anything about that, it's all over our website, and we're constantly helping people with their awards, which is very cool. Next question I had to answer was, how do we prepare? This all sounds fantastic, Lauren and Annette, great stuff, but I'm so busy. I've got a business to run and a household to run. I've got all this work to do. What do I need to do? Just please tell me what I need to do right now. So first thing, the International Business Awards for the Stevies aren't open yet, so you can start preparing. Number one, go and get yourself an entry kit. Go and download it and start reading through the categories and figure out which ones are going to make the most sense for you to look at entering. Then secondly, I would open up a Dropbox or a Google Drive folder, or however you store stuff, and start throwing things into there. Throw in testimonials, photographs from your workshops, recommendations, certificates, logos for, you know, maybe you're a certified speaker or whatever. Throw those into that folder so you can use those in your award entry. Go back through your diary for the last 12 months and look at, when did I get speaking gigs? When did I run workshops? When did I launch my new product? When did I win that big, amazing contract? When did I get some success? When did I fall over, hurt myself and get back up again? So make note of what you've done in the last 12 months and get those things down as well, and start just plotting it out and getting the data together. One of the most tedious tasks we find with awards is gathering the data. So go and start doing that. Some people use Trello. If you use Trello or Monday, there's a couple of other, Asana's another one, and you can just start throwing things into different boards. To be honest with you, the bare basics, a Word document with the dates on it and copied out of your diary, and a folder somewhere on Dropbox, and start throwing things into it. Bare minimum is a great way to get started. And really think about what you've done that's different. If you're looking at those categories, if you've been more innovative, or you've been a maverick, or you've been really good with customer service, or whatever it is, really look at how you can be a standout in your category and start to think about those things as well. And if you need testimonials, if you're sitting there going, oh, that sounds fabulous, but I need to go and ask people. Start asking people now. Go out to your clients, ask them very kindly, you know, you came to a workshop, I just wonder, I'm going to enter this award, could you give me a testimonial? So just go and ask people for their feedback. Maybe you spoke at an event and you still haven't got feedback from them, or you haven't got a testimonial. Go and ask them, hey, I spoke at your event last year, I'm going to enter an award, I'd love to include your event as part of it. Could you give me a testimonial? Everybody likes to share, you know, with those sorts of things, and collaboration is fantastic. So go and get some testimonials. What else do you need to prepare? I would say as well, maybe just blocking out some time in your diary. Block out some time, maybe once a week, for the next couple of weeks to just go and spend a bit of time on getting this together. Then when they do open, you can make the most of those early bird opportunities to get out there and get it done and get it entered. The other thing to do is start looking at other awards. So if you're going to write one award entry, there's no reason why you can't repurpose it and enter something else. So if you're not a member of the Rocket Launch Your Business Facebook group yet, please jump in there. I'm going to just put that on the link here. Let me just copy that, copy link. Here's the group, just to everyone. Here is the group link. Annette and I post in there all the time with opportunities for speaking gigs and awards that are opening. So go and jump into there if you can. And we can certainly tell you when those awards are coming up, and you can repurpose your awards as well. So put a timeline together, get the entry kit, work backwards from the deadline so that's not a mad panic and a mad rush, and you're getting yourself ready for it. The last bit on my little list of things to do in this webinar is what to do when you win your award. So has anyone won an award yet? What I really want to know in the chat box is, have you won an award? It might have been years ago. I know, Christine, you've probably won awards for real estate and what you're doing and training and so on. So have you won an award before? If you have, please let us know what it is. Put it in there. Planning on it, Brenda, absolutely. Oh, you'll smash the HR awards in these categories, no problem at all. So yeah, so if you've won an award, what do you do? What's the first thing you need to do when you win an award? You need to think about leveraging it. You need to actually think about leveraging your award even before you enter. So think about the category that you're going for and what that means to your business and what that means to your ideal client. So how are you going to leverage that? Maybe you can write a blog about your journey in entering these awards. You could go through how, you know, you weren't sure if you had what it took, but you put yourself forward anyway, and you really pride yourself on customer services. And this is a testimonial that we got, that we used in our award nomination. And it's so fabulous that this person, could work with us that way. And now we're nominated. Cross your fingers, hopefully we'll win. So you can actually leverage your award before you win it. And all of a sudden, you're an award-winning nominee. I'm an award-winning finalist. So really think about how you can plot into your marketing for the next few months, talking about the fact that you've entered this award. Tell people that you've entered. Be part of that, hey, cross your fingers for me. You know, if I win and these are going to be held in Las Vegas, who's coming with me? You know, so definitely thinking about how you can leverage the fact that you've even just entered, let alone won. Maggie won 2 international awards years ago, nominated twice for Telstra Women. I hope that you've nominated yourself for more this year as well, Maggie, and I hope that you've leveraged those. Nominated twice for Telstra Businesswoman of the Year, twice nominated Businesswoman of the Year. That should be all over your bio, should be over the back of your book. It should be on your about page, on your website, on your LinkedIn profile, everywhere. Yeah, just get out there and make sure that you are referring to yourself as an award-nominated Businesswoman of the Year. It just up-levels your credibility. And in the brains of your ideal prospects, it's fantastic to get that trust currency up. If you have won an award, you can also download one of these from our website. It's an award-winning workbook. You can see the fabulous photograph of the amazing woman with us on stage in New York last year. But this goes into how to leverage your award. So, you know, now what? Now I've won an award, now what do I do? So it goes into all of that, an awards checklist of what you can do to get out there. It's there on this page, all those different things that you can be doing, a checklist there. Things like, you know, have you added it to the back of your book cover? Have you added it to a slide when you introduce yourself on a PowerPoint that you've won an award, and so on? Can we use the Stevie Awards logos on your book covers? Absolutely, Brenda, you can. They supply the GIFs and PNGs and everything else of the logos. So when you know if you've won a gold, silver or bronze, you can download it and stick it on everything you use. You can go on your business card, whatever you want to do. A lot of the awards are quite happy for you to do that because it's promoting the awards. How to do an acceptance speech is a big part of this book. You want to use your 15 minutes of fame wisely. It's more likely to be 30 seconds of fame. So don't do like most people do, become the deer in the headlights. You want to make sure you're doing acceptance speeches. And even if you don't go to the award event to pick up your award or to see if you've won, you can still record an acceptance speech. Even if you didn't win, you can still record a video talking about how exciting it is to be a nominee, to have entered these awards. Like, I didn't win it, but I'm so impressed with the people I met in the room, whatever it is. I love my business. I love what I'm doing. Thank you to my clients and the people who made this nomination possible. You guys have been amazing and supportive. And next year we're going to go and do it again and win it. So there's no reason why you can't be leveraging and using video and doing acceptance speeches, even if you don't win or even if you don't go to the awards evening. How do we get the book on leveraging, please? It's on our website, Maggie. I'll put a link in for you in the chat box. Tips to nail your speech are on there. The other thing we've got in here is how to then leverage it, how to write your speech is in here. It's really awesome. There's so much in here. And then how to leverage, start spreading the news. How to get yourself, this is down here, this is a lovely guy that we helped with his award. He won it for his board game. There's the awards in the background. And here's him being interviewed on the TV, on the news, when he won these awards. So him winning this award, he leveraged it to get on the news. They've done amazing things. Chrissy in the paper here, you know, getting into the newspaper, into your local newspaper, getting interviewed on webinars. Kimberly, she won an award. She won a gold award. She hadn't even launched her business. She won it for the innovation that she'd created. She hadn't even started a business yet, hadn't launched it, and she won a gold Stevie Award. So how to get into the paper, how to leverage your story, how to blog about it, how to write your hero story. So here's an example of my story. It wasn't necessarily about the awards, it was about my dyslexia, but it became my greatest asset and I won an award for it. So how to write your hero story, loads more story ideas. This book is absolute gold. And then a marketing action plan. How are you going to use your award as part of your marketing? Planning for success, how to get on social media, how to get your story out there, and Operation Promote You. So I'll put a little link on there. In fact, I'll just type it in, www.theaudaciousagency.com. That is our, just checking I spelled it right, there we go. That's our website there. You can go and check that out. It's got everything on there to do with awards. It's got everything on there to do with the services that Annette and I offer to help you choose the right categories to enter the awards, to get an entry up there that's really, really good and it's got the most chances of winning. The book, the Audacious Workbook, this one here is on there. You can download that or order a printed copy. We've got a few of those still available. And there is also the online program that we have for awards as well, if you wanted to do that too. And of course, the Rocket Launch Your Business Facebook group, where we are constantly in there giving you tips and tools and so on what to do. Now, has there been any other questions? I went through that pretty quickly. We've been an hour at this, would you believe? So we went through that pretty quickly, but today we went through all of those different steps. Are you ready and award worthy? I would say yes, and it would say yes. If you've been in business, if you're thinking of being in business, if you're doing amazing things, if you're doing anything to help other people and to change the world, you are award worthy. So make sure you journal what you're doing and you look at your achievements and you don't just think about the fires you're putting out and the stuff you've got to do tomorrow. You're looking at what you're managing to achieve. Go back through your diary and really reflect on what you're doing really well. Go and download the entry kit, look through the categories and choose the ones that make the most sense for your business and your ideal client. Consider what judges look for, and we shared a few of those tips today. Again, they're in the online course that we have. We go well and truly into the mindset of a judge. Being judges for a number of years, we know what it's like. How to prepare and what to get ready and what you need in order to enter and win and leverage an award, and then what to do to leverage even before you've won. How can you leverage an award for your credibility, for your business, for your brand, and to get known and seen and get out there? So that's what we went through today. There's been a couple of links and a few tips in the chat box. If you would like to download those bits of gold before we finish the webinar, because that chat box is going to disappear. If you look at the bottom of the chat box, there's a little button with 3 little dots in it. If you click on that, a little pop-up box will come up and it says Save Chat. So really simple. If you want to save any of those links that we've given you in there, there's the link in there to go and get an entry kit for the International Business Awards. There's the link to the Rocket Launch Your Business Facebook group where Annette and I hang out and give you lots of advice and tips as well. And there's a link there to the Audacious Agency website where you can go and get yourself one of these workbooks so you know what to do with awards and how to leverage them. But if you click on that little button, can everyone find that button? Hopefully you can. Give me a wave if you can. In the chat box, click on the little box and click Save Chat and you'll get all those links. So that's the end of the webinar, guys. I hope you guys have found this incredibly useful. We try to be as helpful as we can. Please put in the chat box if you would like us to contact you to have a chat about awards. There's no cost to do that. It's just a quick 20-minute call and we can talk with you direct about your particular situation, your business, where you're at, what you're thinking about with awards. We're happy to do that. All you need to do is put a big yes in the chat box and I'll make note of who said that and we can get in touch with you and send you a link to do that. And we can talk about, maybe it's not the International Business Awards, maybe it's the Women in Business Awards that are coming up in May, and the trip to Las Vegas that you want to know about. We're heading off there in October. Annette and I are going early. It's actually happening in November. I think it's the 13th of November is the event in Las Vegas. Brenda's coming there as well, which is very awesome. Brenda's on the call here today. We're doing some awesome workshops in Las Vegas. There's the Women Future Conference there as well. And we're taking a bunch of amazing women with us. So if you want to know about that, please let us know. But type yes into the chat box and we'll get in touch with you to book a time to have a quick 20-minute chat about awards and what they might mean to your business, answer your questions, give you any other help that we can. And if you want to use our services, that's awesome. But it's more about what else can we answer you with, because everybody's business is different. Everybody's business is either at a startup phase, you're going through all sorts of different things. I mean, it's the tip of the iceberg, isn't it? When you look at somebody's business from the outside in, you really are only seeing the tip of the iceberg. We're not seeing the shit that you're having to go through. We're not seeing, you know, the stuff that's going on inside your household or your love life or your business or your finances. We don't see any of that. We just assume, because we see you on Facebook and we see you hanging out there, that, you know, you're doing okay. So we don't know any of that. We don't know where you are on your journey with winning awards, whether you're not even thinking about it, but you're going, maybe this could help me, or whether you've won awards in the past and you want to do it better. So let's have a chat. Let's talk about it first and see whether it's going to be the right time for you, whether these are the right awards to enter. There might be some different awards that we know that are out there. There might be local awards that you could be looking at as well. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here. There's been some amazing people on the call. Maggie, Helen, Brenda, Janine's on here as well, which is awesome. Christine, Annie, of course, who was on before. Helen's been on as well, and I know she was here before. So awesome to see you all here. And if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. It'll be available here for you for a little while. We will send the link to the replay to everybody who registered. And you can certainly, on that replay page, there is a button to click to book a time, to have a chat with us if you want to about your awards. Like I said, there's no cost to do that. Annette and I are here to help you. You know, just make it really easy for you to maybe overcome those feelings that you might have of not being worthy, not being ready, but certainly looking at the right category and making sure that your entry really performs its best for you and does the best you can for getting yourself out there and winning awards. So, you know, absolutely, Janine, the replay will be there for you, so don't panic. So if you haven't already done so, please click on that little button with the 3 dots on it in the chat box. Do save chat. And on the replay, I will put some links up there as well. So if you're watching the replay and you're not seeing the chat going, I don't know what's going on, don't panic. It'll be on the replay page as well with those links so you can find out more and get as much help as possible. And just remember, guys, you have the most amazing natural gifts and talents that the world needs. So don't hide them away. Get out and shine and just do it, because you deserve to be well known, well paid and wanted. And we'll see you again soon in the next one. We'll be doing lots around awards this year. We look forward to seeing you in the next one, hopefully in Las Vegas with us as well. It's going to be an absolute blast. But thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see you again soon. Thank you, everyone, for your time. Take care, be well, and go for it.